George Orwell said, if liberty means anything at all, it means having the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. Freedom of expression does not mean that you must be civil. The two are not mutually inclusive. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines civility as a polite act or expression. To have your freedom of expression, you are not required to be polite, nor should you have to be polite. The First Amendment right was put into place to protect our right to protest. We should be able to speak our mind in a way that, if required, we can bring change to the nation. When being polite, we become in danger of censoring ourselves in fear of not insulting somebody else. We do not want to stomp on somebody else's belief, even if they are, as we believe to be, inherently wrong. Being told to be polite is what stops people from saying what they truly believe, for the fear of not stepping on other people's toes. Historically, when change has happened, it has not been polite. To bring change, you have to be disruptive. The Civil Rights Movement was breaking actual laws. It was illegal for blacks to sit in locations marked for whites only. There is nothing polite in refusing to conform to what society tells you to conform to. To be polite is to sit down and do what society tells you to do. When you express your freedom of speech in a way that is not the norm, you are not being polite to society. To actually make change happen, you need to not worry about being polite. Even modern movement to get change has not been polite. Sure, maybe in the past politeness was not the way to go, but does that mean the same for today? Yes, because as long as there is a battle to be fighting, you cannot be nice. Getting same-sex marriage legalized in court was not a battle in which people took and waited patiently for the rest of America to get on board. No, there were marches and people got mad. The media talked about it, and it brought attention to what was going on. To draw attention to something you believe, being nice is not the way to go. Change does not happen if you stay idle. It is a constant battle for fighting for what one believes in. People are going to get insulted. People are going to get mad. To worry about being polite and not hurting anyone's feelings is not going to get your movement anywhere. Because if you want to push for progress, you must stand your ground and fight. Now, opponents of this idea of freedom of expression not equaling civility would argue that not being polite opens the gateway for violence to happen, and this necessarily isn't the case. While not being polite is not the same thing as being violent, just because the language used in your freedom of expression is not one that would take stuff lying down, it does not mean you're going to get up and start brawling the other side. The point of saying to not be polite is not to say that we want to start throwing fists the other side and start physically harming another person. It just means that we will not let the other side win over the fear of being civil and nice. Opponents also say that allowing people to not have to be civil allows for rude talk we often see today in the media. While there is a point where you will have people who will use the right to be a jerk, it does not discredit the point of needing to be nice to cause, not being nice to cause change. While there is a current problem with people taking not being civil past the point of not being civil, the point of using not being civil needs to be examined. In the sense of causing change, the idea of throwing niceties out the window is so that we can create progress and lift marginalized groups up. The calling people names and purposely bringing them down is not to lift people up, but to tear them down. When intentions are met for greater society, then freedom of expression do not have to, it should not have to coexist.